Hey you guys, it's Monica and welcome back to Period 6 Designs. Today I'm going to show you how I make my bumblebee cup. So I'm just starting with a plain white, ceramic cup from the Dollar Tree. And I'm using this Recollections glitter in the shade gold. You can just pick it up at Michael's. It's an extra fine glitter. And so just using like an epoxy hang method, that's what you're seeing me pour on here now. Same thing, I always use the Illumilights clear casting resin. Like I said, you can pick it up at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Amazon. Just make sure you get the right one with the longer working life. So again, just taking my time and smoothing it on here like hang method style, just getting a nice thin layer. You don't want a thick layer on here. You want a nice thin layer, just enough to get a good coat of glitter. So at this point, I realized that I needed my my cup holder. So that's what I'm about to go and grab. All right, now I'm just gonna speed it up through this, you guys. Like I said, hang method style, just applying pressure and moving the product around, not using, not having a lot of product in one place. You just want a thin layer. I'm not doing the bottom of this cup. I'm just gonna, you'll see, I just make sure it gets spray painted on the bottom. That's why I'm just leaving the sticker on for now because I'll get it off eventually. But I am doing the handle and you'll kind of see how I do it. Like I just needed a little bit more to give me some good even coverage. When you're doing mugs like this, just make sure you get between all the nook and crannies on the handle. If not, you'll have to go back and touch up where you missed once you put the glitter on. All right, so now that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and with the glitter. So again, this is the gold glitter Recollections from Michael's. It's like $4 and you can use a coupon on it. I like to use the shaker side because it's not dumping a bunch of glitter in one place and causing me to have to get it all on the paper and put it back in. I can kind of just tap and shake it out. And the good thing I like about doing the bumblebee cups where you do the peekaboos is that you're not having to do like an ombre or anything. You literally can just use one color glitter and it goes over the whole surface and it's just wonderful. Make sure you get that handle really well too. So once I get done glittering, I did two coats of hang layer and then one coat of just like a thick spinner epoxy. That's how it looks when it's done with the glitter. So that's just one coat of glitter. I did two coats of glitter, in case you were wondering. And then, like I said, I did two coats of hang method and then one coat of spun epoxy on my turner. So that's how it looks after I do those three things. So next, I'm ready to apply the decal for the honeycombs. And I just got these off Google Images and I exported them into Silhouette Studio and traced them. And so what I like to do just for me mentally is I like to cut them in the shapes that I think I'm gonna put them on my cup. And so because I need to be able to visualize how they're gonna look, since it's not going to be complete honeycombs all the way around, they're going to be kind of scattered about. So what I like to do is go in just with these little tiny, these are actually eyebrow scissors that you can pick up at Forever 21 and they're like $2. And what I like to do is just go and cut out what I think I want. So I change my mind as I go, but that kind of helps me plan out and also kind of be like, okay, well, I need to go cut some more of these. And that's just regular. That's actually 651 Oracle vinyl. You can use 631, which is a removable kind, but I only keep 651, so that's just what I use. Color doesn't matter. So I got them all laid out right here on my desk, and now I'm ready to start applying. So I just use regular transfer paper. That's the Cricut transfer paper. I just picked it up at Walmart because I was like in a pinch and I needed it. And you guys, that transfer paper is troublesome. If you've ever used that transfer paper, and it's just giving you problems, please leave a comment below because I'm trying to burn through it because I did pay for it, but I do not like that transfer paper. It leaves way too much adhesive and it's too strong. That's my main issue. It causes the vinyl to stick it causes the tape to stick to the vinyl, and it just makes it so difficult to get anything off of it. I've wasted so much vinyl trying to use this transfer tape. I can't wait till I'm done using it. So yeah, you just want to stick those honeycombs in the fashion of your choice on there. And so in total, I did 22 on this cup. So yeah, again, you can put as many or as few as you like. I wanted to make sure I got a good amount so that, my glittering work didn't go to waste, but also that you get the picture of what the cup is supposed to be. All right, so what I did is I went and spray painted it. I did just one thick coat, but not thick enough that it dripped, but because I kept the cup moving while I was spraying, of yellow spray paint. And I'll put a link to the spray paint that I used down in the bottom and the name of it. It's some kind of yellow. And so I was somewhere between these two alcohol inks. That's Sunshine Yellow from Ranger. And then I forget what this orange shade is, but I ended up not using the orange shade anyways. And you can see I had this little sponge, and I was trying to decide if I wanted to use a sponge, but the sponge was soaking it up really fast. And so I kind of had to figure out what I wanted to do. And the closest thing I had was these little cotton pads that I use on my makeup desk. And they do soak up the alcohol ink, but they also help move it around. So I just was like, forget it. I'm just going to dot it on here like I'm doing a alcohol ink tile, which I'll leave a link to below if you want to see how I do the alcohol ink tiles, if you're interested in that. I'm just going to do it like an alcohol ink tile, just, kind of throw it on there and then use the cotton pad to move it around and kind of give it some texture and some character. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just doing that all the way around. But yeah, the one thing about this cup is that with the spray paint, it's not like the primer. When you use the spray paint, like primer, it only takes like 6 hours to completely dry according to the bottle. But like that yellow spray paint, literally, it takes a full day to dry. And I think it's like a total of like 24 to 48 hours. So I literally spray painted it and I let it sit for like 3 days before I even did this part. Because I wanted to, give it a full chance to dry. You don't want to work with something early just because you're anxious. I know a lot of times we get anxious and we're like, oh, well, let's dry it a little bit and it shouldn't be a problem. But this one, I let, you have to let it sit the whole time. So yeah, and that's all I'm doing now is I'm putting the alcohol ink on the cup and I'm making sure I get like the whole thing covered, at least one layer. And then I'm just going back and adding like, little spots on top to give it different depth throughout the cup. So like it'll be darker in some spots and lighter in other spots, and just giving the cup that depth. And you just do that until you're satisfied. There's no rhyme or reason. It's whatever works for you guys. It's whatever you like, whatever you think looks good. So do that until you are satisfied. And that's my stopping point. I liked how that looked. I thought it had good depth. And so I'm just going to leave it at that. So now it's time for me to take the vinyl off. Oh yeah, and you guys, you see I'm working with a glove. Make sure you wear a glove when you're doing all these things. So these are things that can either stain your hands, stain your clothing. Epoxy, people do have reactions to epoxy. So make sure you're wearing a nitrile glove when you do that. It's also recommended that you wear a mask. I admittedly don't wear a mask, but it's suggested that you do. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking my little, I don't even know what they call these, weeding tools. That's what it is. My little weeding tool. And what I like to do is I like to break through the spray paint layer with my tool. And then from the spray paint layer, I'll grab the vinyl because I don't want to just dig straight into it and risk potentially scratching the epoxy and scratching the glitter, which will cause it to be dull, even though I'm going to go back in with another layer of epoxy on top of this. But just in case, a good method, especially if it's your first time doing it, is start in the middle of the vinyl piece, and then try to break through the paint, the spray paint, and then break through the vinyl, and then kind of pull it from the middle, or find your edge if you have a loose edge. But yeah, you got to be careful sometimes when you're trying to go straight in at the edge, because you risk A, not getting it ripped off clean, and then B, potentially scratching the epoxy and glitter underneath. And so I'm just going to go ahead and finish pulling all these. Like I said, you guys, I did 22 on my cup. Just randomly placed around. And so I'm just going to go ahead and finish pulling all of these off. So once I get them all off, this is how it looks. And so it's already on my cup turner, and what I'm about to do is go in with a thick layer of spun epoxy on the cup, and I'm just going to cover the whole thing. And so again, I'm going to show you in this video how I epoxy a cup, because I know my last video was a tumbler. But essentially it's the same way. It's a little hard to do like that catch and drop method I do in my beginner video, but it's really just a matter of getting on there, getting it smooth. And make sure, of course, you get the handle. But I think it looks so great. I think it looks so cool. It has great depth, great dimension, great color profile. So I really love how these look. I really want to start doing more peekaboo cups. So if you have any kind of suggestions on something you'd like to see, please leave it below. I'm taking all suggestions. So once you're satisfied with the layer of epoxy, don't forget to use your heat gun to blast it. And it's important to use the heat gun to bring all those air bubbles to the surface. That way you have a glass finish on your cup. And I thought about doing a vinyl on this cup, but as you see, as it currently stands, I'm not really sure if I want to put vinyl on top of this. I really like how it looks without it. So I'm probably just going to leave it as is and add it to my collection. So that's just a close-up while it's spinning. So beautiful. I think that looks so good. And that's it, you guys. So if you're interested in doing the BumbleBee peekaboo type cups, it's really easy to do. It just takes time, and you have to be patient with all the drying and everything. But if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel while you're here. Please don't forget to thumbs up this video, and thank you so much for watching.